All right, welcome back to another episode of the House Always Wins podcast. As always, I'm Joey Andron.
I'm Chance Vanek.
And today we have a special guest in the studio with us, Olga McDowell.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Olga.
Thanks so much for coming in. I know we have a lot of exciting things to talk about because there's a really cool project that's happening in McDonald Highlands, and you're going to tell us all about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're really excited. It's going to change the landscape of Henderson. But before we get into it, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, because I don't think you're from Las Vegas originally. Am I right?
Correct. Yes. So I'm from overseas. I came to America about 24 years ago. Studied at University of Arizona in Tucson, graduated, and pretty much my career took off in real estate without necessarily planning on being in real estate. But I've been in this business for about 12 years now, solely focused on development, luxury development sales. So I started here in Vegas 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Very nice.
With selling Veer Towers at City Center.
Veer.
Really?
It's a really fun project.
Where did you come from? Where were you born?
Originally from Russia.
Russia.
Southern part of Russia. They call it the Russian Switzerland.
The Russian Switzerland.
Ooh.
Beautiful mountains.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah. I know. I've been dying to go to Switzerland.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it pops up on my Instagram all the time, and I'm like, wow, we have to go there.
I visited a couple of years ago. It's gorgeous. You have to go.
So what did you study in Arizona?
Funny enough, I studied art history and classical civilizations, focusing on ancient Rome, ancient Egypt. My goal was to, people say, why? What were you going to do with that degree? Well, I wanted to go to what's called repatriation law. It's a very, very narrow degree in law that basically focuses and deals with various art pieces and artifacts that may have, been made in one country, but currently in a museum or belong into someone in a different country. And then you basically, represent whichever party and argue for or against keeping that artifact in its original country or the country where it's currently at and why. And,
Yeah.
a lot of pieces were acquired legally and some of them were not. So, but that law degree never happened. Real estate happened.
Yeah. And what sparked your interest in real estate?
So interestingly, I was working for a company called Christian Dior, and I was selling high-end cosmetics that I was doing like a part-time position, selling $1,000, $600, $700 creams. I rang like a $3,000 transaction for facial creams for one of my clients. She said, give me 3 of these creams. I'll put them in each of my homes so I don't have to travel with them. And I stood there ringing a $3,000 cream transaction thinking, why am I selling the creams and not the homes?
Wow.
That's a good way to look at it, right?
Spurred my interest in real estate. Honestly, fake it until you make it. You don't know much about it, but I started, went home, Googled it, how to get real estate license, signed up for a real estate course, and always had, of course, like everybody probably does, a sense of where do you want to go in real estate, which specific part. So I was really interested in new developments and had the opportunity to start with Veer Towers. And
that's really good because being a new real estate agent, you typically don't get those opportunities unless you have some sort of experience.
Exactly.
So that was an amazing opportunity for you at that time.
It sure was. I think they really took a chance on me. Hey, sold those $1,000 creams.
That was your first real estate sales position at Veer?
It really was, yes.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Okay, so then you would know the answer to this because I think we brought it up in one of our shows a while ago. There was one of the buildings that something was wrong with the steel, right? And they had to bring it down? Didn't they have to bring down one of the towers?
There was, so not at Veer. So interestingly enough.
Not Veer, but one of the buildings in City Center.
At City Center there was, correct. It's called the Harmon Tower. There was a construction defect, so they did have to, in fact, demolish it, and now it's a completely new structure. But the interesting part about Veer Towers, how misinformation spreads, those were designed at a 5-degree angle, specifically meaning to look like they are leaning. But everything I heard throughout my career was, those are the defective towers that are falling down. No, we're good, but the building next to us, in fact, is defective, and it did come down. So
wow,
that's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, they just got to so many floors and realized that they were leaning. So we're like, let's just finish it.
Yeah, we're fine.
that's right.
Well, if you look at the stratosphere, one of the legs pops out a little bit. They were off, and then they readjusted. Yeah, you can still see that. But luckily, it was apparently safe enough because it's now, I don't know, what, 25 or more years old?
Yeah.
The Stratosphere? I'm not sure. It's very old.
Yeah, there's the Veer is very interesting. I had a couple of listings there. I have one currently there. And, you know, for Las Vegas, it's more of like that New York style loft kind of living, right?
Absolutely.
Very minimalist, no closet space.
Correct. Nor kitchen, nor closet.
No kitchen. So it's really, you have to paint the picture when people walk in there, right? And I have this studio. It's like 540 square feet. It's facing the strip. It's awesome. Yeah. And it's a hard sell. You know, when people are shopping around for that, maybe like that home or that residence in the sky, you know, they don't have that mentality of like the New York loft is cool.
What's that running? What's the price tag on the 540 square
I have it listed at $398,888.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously working for development sales, you know, I would never sell just a residence. I would always sell them the lifestyle. You know, residence comes secondary. It's going through the, you know, the city center itself, which was a multi-billion-dollar development, over $8.5 billion development with shopping, dining, entertainment, you know, city center, Aria, Crystal Shopping Center, you know, and we're basically the cherry on the top, you know.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it, and I think I'm going to have to use that when I bring clients to my listing to really paint that picture because, I mean, really it's like nothing else. You can't find that anywhere else in Las Vegas, really, to have, you know, 5-star restaurants, all the shopping, the high-end stuff right there at your footsteps.
Do you have that listed? We can pull up some photos so we can take a look at your listing.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Just real quick.
You want to take a look at my listing really quick?
Yeah, I want to see what we're looking at over at Veer for just under $400,000. It's a one-bedroom studio, or?
It is. It's a studio. It is a studio.
Olga already knows exactly what it looks like, I'm sure.
So I did receive an offer on it. We'll see. That looks familiar to you, doesn't it, Olga?
It sure does.
So that's it. That's the studio.
Oh, wow.
That is it. The decor could probably be a little bit better, but this is a single guy. He uses it, you know, a couple months out of the year. He's a musician, so it's like a crash pad for him when he comes out here to perform or work in the studio, and then he goes home.
Oh,
but
wow.
Super clean unit, you know, close to 400,000 or just under.
Can you Airbnb those or no?
No.
No.
Yeah. You can only Airbnb it if it's a hotel condo.
Gotcha. So can you see out of the glass that's colored in your unit? Oh, you can.
Yeah, so this right here, this part right here is colored. So you can see through. But it's a great view, great unit. So you got your start there, and then where did you go from Veer?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy that, you know, again, I've done, you know, luxury sales with Dior prior, and it just opened up the door to that opportunity. Again, I think they truly took a chance on me, and I'm very grateful for that because I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love development sales. It's such a unique, profession, very, very niche. Mm-hmm. And considering we don't really have that many, you know, luxury development sales, I've been really lucky to kind of handle a handful of really cool luxury development sales here in town. So after Veer, when I worked myself out of a job, basically, I got offered to move, but declined the offer because I have a son here. And I went to work for the Ridges, and I opened up a project in the Ridges. It was a townhome community. Initially, it was by Toll Brothers, and there was like a hiatus for so many years, and they reopened it with brand new floor plans. So I handled that project until I got recruited to Blue Heron. Spent in the next 5.5 years with the modern semi-custom builder here in town, Blue Heron. Mm-hmm. And now, 5.5 years later, I'm with Four Seasons.
Four Seasons.
Wow.
And that's exactly what we want to talk about. But quickly, I want to backtrack real quick. So the townhomes that you sold in the Ridges, what were they selling at that time?
We were starting close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million?
Yes.
So are they the same? Because there's only a few townhomes in that community, right? Or are they designated condos?
They are designated condos. So the first phase was actually designated townhomes, and then the second phase were designated condominiums.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that because I have a buyer that was looking over there, and I was looking for townhomes, and nothing popped up, and I changed it to condo, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Exactly.
So yeah, but those have appreciated for condos. I mean, amazingly well. I mean, I was looking at, they're like 1.5 to up to almost $2 million
Exactly.
for those. So yeah, those were pretty nice.
They're two-story units, right? The unit itself?
So 2-story building with a single-story condo, and then the condo on top of it, and then adjacent condo that is a double story.
Okay.
So it's kind of a unique floor plan.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so you sold out of those and then you moved on to Blue Heron.
That's right. I got recruited to Blue Heron during that project, yes.
Yeah. And how many years were you with Blue Heron?
5.5 years.
5.5 years. So, back then, I mean, 5.5 years ago with Blue Heron, they were really on the forefront of that luxury product, or that
Sure
modern
were.
product, I should say.
Yes, they sure were. Had a chance to handle some sales in Southern Highlands, and then they sent me off to Lake Las Vegas, which was their very, very first development there called Vantage. There was literally nothing. We didn't have a model home. We didn't have paved roads. We didn't have utilities. We had
Did you have a trailer?
We did not have a trailer. I worked out of the trunk of my car, basically.
Wow.
Did you really?
I booked hour-on-the-hour appointments, and I would just literally meet clients there hour on the hour and take them onto the land. We couldn't get onto the site, so I had my hiking boots and a recorded map from the city. I did not even have what they call
like a rendering,
like
nothing.
a rendering or marketing map.
What
just
year
quite
was
yet.
this?
2000. So I started pre-sales in 2018. Actually, yes, 2018 we started pre-sales. We went officially on the market in 2019.
Okay, so that was right around COVID time.
Right before COVID, correct. Right before COVID, and they basically said, sink or swim.
Yeah.
And because at that time, the prices that were offered, we were like, what? These prices at Lake Las Vegas starting at $700,000, and some of my lots were upwards $600,000 in addition to the base price. So starting, $1.3, $1.5 million, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and that's a finished product. When it's all said and done, you're looking at 3.5 to 4, I would imagine.
Yeah, that project was a little bit less. That project on average rented at about 2.5. But, looking at resale market, that's certainly
Talk about selling the lifestyle.
Yes.
Dirt road. Here
For
you
sure.
go.
Here you go, strap up the boots and let's go.
It was fun, and that's I guess what I love about my career is the fact that I get to build people's dreams. I really get to paint the picture and hold their hands through a really unique process in their life where it's not necessarily a fully completed product just quite yet. There's nothing yet, but we are able to envision the opportunity, the lifestyle, the new home to be, and the dream that they're envisioning. It's exciting. It's very rewarding.
That's a true art to be able to do that. Because if you put just any salesperson out there to try to paint the picture, not everybody can do it. And I hate to say it, but most real estate agents don't know really how to. They think they know how to sell, but you're not really selling.
Correct.
You're creating the vision for people to see of what their lifestyle could potentially be.
Correct.
Right, and taking that leap of faith based on trusting you throughout the process.
100%. And throughout my development sales, throughout my career, I really never feel like I'm salesy with my clients because I'm not. Everything is just a true educational process. Giving them all the information needed to make a decision if that's the right fit for them or not.
Yeah.
And that applies to every single development there is because if you're building something from ground up, it's something that they can't see. They just need, to hold their hand and to give them all the information necessary to see if it is the right fit. And many times it is, and sometimes it isn't, and that's okay.
That's okay, right? Because it will be somebody's.
Exactly.
But, moving on to the most exciting news that's happening, and the reason why that you're here is the Four Seasons.
Yes.
So now you left Blue Heron, and now you're starting this new development, which has actually been underway for, I want to say, how many months has it been? Because I don't want to say something arbitrarily.
Yeah, we started pre-sales in May of last year.
Okay.
And we're approaching close to 50% pre-sale. So 50% sold out and hard contracts. But we still have very healthy inventory available on 2 bedrooms and 3s and 4s and junior penthouses and penthouses. So still plenty inventory available to sell. 171 residences in total. We have about 80 under contract. So we have a handful more to go.
And that's incredible. This is the first high-rise that's really underway, with the exception of one in downtown, that is since Veer, I want to say.
Correct.
Right?
Correct, since 2009.
Really?
2009.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is a major event for Las Vegas and Henderson.
For Henderson, huge. For
Particularly.
Henderson.
So,
Because when we went to the meeting at your office the other day, you were saying that there was never supposed to be any high rises in Henderson, correct?
Correct. So this development is very unique because it was approved by the special development permit, and it sits on a really unique piece of land within McDowell Highlands. It kind of sits in the arroyo with the...
Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
The next
picture?
slide.
We're going to show it right here.
Sits in the arroyo with the wilderness preserve behind us, which basically allows us to really nestle into that beautiful mountainside by not impeding into anybody's views, and nobody impedes into ours. You know, we sit about 600 feet above the valley floor, allowing for absolutely phenomenal strip views, whether you're on the first floor or whether you're on the 25th floor. It's airplane views throughout.
And talk about not impeding anyone's views. The majority of these units are flow through. So you're going to have the mountain and strip view.
That's
Is
right.
that right?
Yes, that is correct. Everything with the exception of 2 bedrooms. So everything will be facing the strip, including the 2 bedrooms. But anything above the 2-bedroom floor plan also has the mountain view in the back.
I mean, I think
Incredible.
it's designed extremely well because most people want that strip view, right? Because
Exactly.
you'll have the view of the entire valley. And this picture, it's a great rendering, but it doesn't really even put into perspective what this actually is. Because once you get up to that elevation, you're literally looking down at the valley and you see all of Red Rock, you see the Spring Mountains, you can almost see all the way out to Lake Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. When you're standing on the site, the pictures really don't do justice because it's as far as your eye can see, and you're absolutely correct. You're capturing other mountain ranges that the photos just don't. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, and just look at the contrast here from day to night. I mean, it's beautiful. And, you know, I think people underestimate Henderson. You know, everyone that we talk to that's in that luxury space, they all want Summerlin and they want the ridges, you know, but you don't get these views on that side of town.
You don't. No, that's exactly right. I think the way we are positioned within the valley is it just really allows for that really dramatic straight on view versus beautiful views, but much more in the distance and much more at an angle from different parts of town. So definitely I'd say McDowell Highlands wins in terms of its strip views. No matter where you are in the valley, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the money that people that are moving here that are uberly wealthy are taking a serious look at McDowell Highlands, McDowell Ranch, and Ascaya. So I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity now because it's still fairly young in that aspect because there's so much more development that's coming along, and especially with Ascaya now that they've release a lot more home sites, and now you have the free reign to pick your site.
Sure.
You know, it's just giving people the flexibility to move in this direction, and money follows money.
100%, 100%. And what we see in McDowell Highlands, because it is a mature community, it's been out there for now 22 years. It has championship golf course. You know, it has tremendous amenities. Guard gated, with incredible homes. You know, ranging in 15 and 20, 35, and up to $75 million ranges. The truth is, I think our clients are really attracted to the lifestyle because it is kind of a proven, mostly fully developed project. Considering, yes, Ascaya next door is still under development, but McDowell Highlands in itself is mostly fully developed. And by the time we are going to be completed with our project and add the third gate into the community, I believe the community in itself will be mostly fully built out, at least 99% at that point. And that's very, very attractive to our clients, not having and wanting to live in construction zone forever and ever.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to build out communities like this. It's been about 22 years for McDowell Highlands to get where they are today.
Yeah, and construction in this area, in this desert, on that mountain range it's quite the undertaking because you have the limestone. I mean, it's a big deal. When you say, hey, can we just put an access road into the Four Seasons? I mean, that's not cheap.
Not cheap at all, but we managed to carve it out, and you're going to have a very, very dramatic entry, coming through that beautiful mountainside.
Now, will that go straight or only to the towers?
It will come in to feed the towers, plus the part of the community that is developed within that part of McDowell Highlands. It will just ease off the traffic from the rest of the gates.
So if somebody's looking to move into this development, this tower, this is the Four Seasons private residences, right? So there's only how many in the entire world?
So Four Seasons has a lot of hotels across the world, over 120 hotels. Close to 60 of them has the residential component, so it's half hotel, half residences. But only 5 that are currently in the world that are 100% residential. And we and a couple more developments in the world currently under construction that are also 100% residential. So we're number 6 now.
So this will be number 6. So, I mean, that's pretty elite.
Very, very elite.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, you look around the world, and to think that Las Vegas has one of 6
Correct.
private residences for the Four Seasons, I mean, that's massive. Because nobody thought that the Las Vegas real estate market would be where we're at today. Everybody, I don't think many people bet on it. I think they bet on it to lose because they saw what happened in 2008.
Correct.
And they think that that's going to happen again. And I talk to a lot of very affluent people, and they're always, oh, the market's going to crash. I have a financial advisor who tells me that the rates are going to go up 6 times next year, and, Las Vegas is going to crumble. And I'm like, I don't know. We look at the data, and we're a very data-driven industry, and you can see that there's such low inventory and such a high absorption rate. But when you look into specialty products like this, there's really not a whole lot to choose from. And when you're saying that you started sales last May and you're pretty much 50% deposits
Correct.
right now, I mean, that's pretty incredible. If you were only sitting at 10 or 15%,
Correct.
we might be having a different conversation, right?
Absolutely.
But now, I mean, hearing that, it's very motivating because these aren't cheap.
No.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
They're not.
what's your lowest barrier of entry for this
We
project?
start just under 3.6 million, and we go just under 30.
Wow.
$30 million for our penthouses. We have excellent inventory available, still within 2 and 3 and 4 bedrooms, as mentioned. And what we find is that, again, our clients are really drawn to this project because it's not just a standalone, branded residences somewhere in town, but it's basically a trophy development within a trophy location, being within the guard gates of McDowell Highlands. And a lot of people are looking for that security and exclusivity and want to be surrounded by other homes that will keep the value of their property. They like to be surrounded by those 10, 15, 20, $35 million homes within the same development because that keeps their value.
Yeah, I mean, and aside from that, the level of amenities that this development is going to offer, it's not just like, hey, it's your condo tower, you get the pool, you get the tennis court, and then you have a concierge. I mean, this is a full service building.
Full service building. We are going to be offering 90,000 square feet of amenities.
Wow.
Everything you can think of, incredible outdoor pools, lounge, cabanas, jacuzzis. We will have indoor fitness center designed by Harley Pasternak, who is the fitness guru to the stars, allowing our clients to take advantage of personal training within the space. We will have his and her steam rooms and saunas and plunge pool and, fitness center, movement studios. And we will have golf simulator. We will have theater room, kids room or grandkids room. We will also have Four Seasons suites that are going to be designed as they were to be within the Four Seasons Hotel brand. And there's going to be a total of 4 of them to allow our clients to take advantage of hosting their guests there. Mother, father,
I think
cousins,
that's one of the coolest
business
features.
partners.
I think that's one of the coolest things
Like
too.
the golf simulator and all these other things are like, that's cool. That's kind of cool. You can have that, utilize it. Probably I don't think most people will, but you have those guest suites.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to stay in your own house. After a week, you get tired of each other. I'm going down to my place.
Exactly.
That's very
And then
cool.
we just announced our partnership with Wolfgang Puck. So in the North Tower, we're going to be having an incredible restaurant by Wolfgang Puck. It's going to be indoor-outdoor restaurant, and it will be featuring something more like a best of Wolfgang Puck concept, where we will have maybe the best of Spago, the best of Cut, best of Karama and Chinois. So we're super excited to offer that.
But I think the biggest question is, number one, will that be enough to support the restaurant just by the residents? And 2, will they open that up to the public?
Great question. So right now, the way we are planning on doing it, because it's not a part of the HOA, it will be a standalone restaurant. First and foremost, the reservations will be available for the Four Seasons owners. Secondly, they will be opened up to the McDowell Highlands residents. And considering that within McDowell Highlands, there's 1,000, home sites, we're hoping that will fill in the space. If we need to open it up to the public, we may discuss the opportunity of maybe doing something exclusive, maybe with Four Seasons concierge, more like a destination dining. But of course, don't quote me on that because we haven't yet approved that or agreed on that, but we're basically thinking in those lines that it's first going to be for the residents only, and maybe as a destination dining in the future.
Nice.
I mean, I would go.
Yeah.
Outdoor dining up there. Heck
You'll
yeah.
have to stay in the Four Seasons Hotel to get on the concierge invite.
I know you. You can just
There
make
you
the
go.
reservation for me.
I want to go to the pool. That pool
I
looks
want to
so
go. I
awesome.
want to go to the restaurant too.
Do Sunday brunch out there. Come on,
Oh my gosh.
bottomless mimosas.
I'm
What are
sure
you
it's going to be
talking about?
amazing.
So who's your demographic? Like, where are you seeing a lot of these buyers come from? Because I think that's a big question that a lot of people have. Where because these aren't the least expensive condos, but obviously you're selling the lifestyle, and you're selling it to somebody who is familiar with the Four Seasons brand. But are we seeing people from Las Vegas purchase these? Are we seeing people from California, Washington, and New York, Miami? Like, where are they coming from?
Great question. Everybody's welcome, but a lot of our owners are from Las Vegas. They are downsizing from their big mansions, those mansions that they've built, both in McDowell Highlands and the Summit and the Ridges. We see a lot of our clients from the Summerlin are actually now becoming converted.
Henderson.
They're being converted into Henderson lifestyle.
And they probably never thought they would in a million
Never.
years, right?
They probably never did, but it's such a unique offering. Like I said, there's really nothing in the market like this is being offered. So it's a very, very unique and limited time opportunity. A lot of our owners, of course, this is not their primary residence. This is at the very minimum probably their second or third or fourth residence. And those who have built big homes, they travel a lot, and maybe, they become empty nesters and their life has changed and they want a little bit more simplicity in terms of lock and leave, but yet they don't necessarily want to sacrifice too much on the size, but they want the convenience of not having to worry about their pools and their landscape. And you know how that is. Every time you travel, you come back, there's always something wrong. Even when you're not traveling, there's always something wrong with a big home. We all know that. So for them to have the opportunity to have a space that is not going to feel tiny, like we were talking about Veer. Veer is truly a crash pad. It's a tiny little residence, but Four Seasons residences are large. We started 2,300 square feet for a 2-bedroom residence, and we go 1,000 square foot more, about 3,300 on our 4-bedroom and on our 3 bedrooms.
Wow.
And our 4 bedrooms, go all the way to that 4,300 square foot range and higher. Our junior penthouses go to 5,600 square feet. Our biggest penthouse can offer you 8,300 square feet on the interior space.
That is massive.
And then, of course, we also added really large balconies on every single one of these residences. Our smallest balcony is 660 square feet. So that takes your 2-bedroom residence, closer to that, 3,000 square foot mark. If you open up your pocket doors and you get that indoor-outdoor lifestyle, which is beautiful. And then my 4-bedroom residences, some balconies go upwards, 1,200 square foot on the exterior, and more on higher end residences.
So gorgeous.
I think a lot of people have the concern, when they purchase a condo, the HOA fees, right? Because
Yes.
you see, like at Panorama, for instance, not luxury by any means. It is luxury to a certain standard, obviously not in the same arena as the Four Seasons. However, they just increased their HOA dues again. And I think, on an average unit, you're paying upwards of, $750 to $800 a month.
Gotcha.
On a like a 600 square or 600 to 700 square foot unit. That's a lot of money for that.
It is a lot of money, but you also have to look at what's included within that cost, right? If what's the services and amenities that are included within the cost justifies your overall costs that you would have ordinarily paid, a la carte, then it's worth it.
Sure.
So going back to the size of the residence is what I did want to mention is large closets, large bathrooms, large walk-in pantries, and beautiful kitchens equipped with, Sub-Zero and Wolf and appliances and Callista fixtures. In terms of HOA fees, we're currently estimated at $1.06 per interior square foot. And that is going to include pretty much everything. It's going to include all of your services, all of your amenities. So all that beautiful upkeep of the pools and the gym and the landscape and all of the 24-hour concierge and security and valet services. It's also going to include most of your utilities. So pretty much everything from gas, trash, your internet connection, with exception of electricity bill and water, which on a high rise is pretty minimal here in town.
Right.
So when you start adding that up, you're looking at $1.06 for interior square foot. It really makes sense for people because that's what they pay a lot more on a upkeep of a larger
Sure.
home that they're
Absolutely.
downsizing from. Very, very much worth it.
Yeah. We had this conversation before. I mean, coming from Miami and selling luxury condos down there, I mean, we were at, $1.50 to $2 in some cases, just because of the insurance alone. And
Sure.
people, coming from New York and they go down to Miami, it's still, I mean, a tough one to swallow, but at the same time, it's a lot of money. So comparing that to here and what you get, I think you get so much more here than if you would be on the East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the convenience and the peace of mind of lock and leave and everything is pretty much taken care of for you. And we take great care of you when you're on the property, and we take care of the property when you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for our clients. Considering that there will be 56 full-time Four Seasons employees who will be trained in, white glove Four Seasons services and experiences. So that covers that.
That doesn't seem like enough to maintain all this beauty. Only 56.
Only 56 employees?
I think it takes 57 to run my family of four. Seems like
You're
it.
very high maintenance.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the starting point right now with these prices, have you seen any price increases since you've launched?
We have, certainly. We have. Certain categories have had higher price increase than others. And right now, for example, if you're looking at a 3-bedroom residence, I think this is our sweet spot where we haven't really had much of a price increase. That is still a really, really attractive price point for our clients to get in and potentially have even more appreciation going forward after they secure it under the current price points.
And one of the package that you guys offer is a turnkey unit fully furnished by Restoration Hardware. Is that correct?
Yes, we will definitely be offering these kind of convenience services for our clients. Some of our clients don't want to deal with the headache of choices and furnishings, and we will be offering certain packages with Restoration Hardware.
That's awesome.
As well as we're really not going to have the choice fatigue, because when you're building lots of homes from ground up, you have to choose every single thing. And some clients love that, and some clients just don't want to deal with that headache. So we will be offering modern light and modern dark packages for all of our residents with the pre-selected materials that are very, very high-end, something you would expect from a Four Seasons brand.
Yeah, and when you select like the darker light, so it's just going to be maybe 3 or 4 different countertops, 3 or 4 different choices for flooring, or is it, hey, this is what you get?
I believe it's going to be this is what you get,
Okay.
with maybe just a couple of choices within those selections. Yes, we are trying to really make it comfortable for clients that the prices we're quoting, are pretty much the prices we're quoting. And if there's any additional items they want to add in, like maybe audio-visual packages, things like that, maybe certain additional appliances, those will be available to them in addition to furnishings packages, but really not going to tire them too much with 3 or 4 different choices within the color palettes. So I think it's going to be very convenient for our owners.
I love it. I think this project is going to do extremely well. When it's all said and done, I think people who don't get involved early are going to feel as if they missed out.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think considering the fact that we're 50% pre-sold, and only 50% left to go, I certainly would not discourage people from thinking they've already missed out, because we still have 50% of the inventory
Right.
left. They will miss out when it's fully sold out.
Right.
That is when they will
Yep.
miss out.
Yeah, because you make money on any investment on the buy side.
Yeah.
And if you buy it too late,
Well,
you're still going to have value, but you're going to miss out on those appreciation scales throughout the entire project.
Yes. And
And-
everything we're doing right now is still pre-construction pricing.
But you guys already sold the 2 penthouses or 1 penthouse for $29 million.
We have 4 in total. 2 are spoken for and 2 more to go. One under 23, one under 29. One.
It's a steal chance.
Yeah, I had my eye on the 29.
Do you want to do the application or go to leave your
that.
deposits? Actually, speaking of deposits, what does it take for somebody to tie one of these up? They came down, they saw you, they said, Olga, I love this floor plan. I want the 3-bedroom. What's my next step?
Absolutely. Very, very convenient and easy deposit structure. 15% upon signing of the contract, additional 10% in 6 months, and additional 10% 6 months later, so on a 12-month anniversary of signing. So within a year, basically you have 3 separate deposits, totaling 35% in total. And the remainder 65% would be due when we are completed, which we're currently estimating 2026, end of 2026, beginning of 2027.
Okay. And now if somebody needed to get financing, do they have to go through their own bank to secure that financing, or do you have somebody lined up?
We do have somebody lined up who will be offering financing on those residences when the time comes. That is correct.
Okay.
Nice.
But no disclosure now of which bank?
JP Morgan.
Oh, JP Morgan. Yep. Okay. Because a lot of, people of high net worth have, relationships with like a JP Morgan.
Exactly.
And they can easily get financed.
100%. Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I'm really excited about the project. I'm really hoping that some of my clients will be interested.
That's right.
Because I think it's amazing. The reason why I say that too, because I'm always optimistic. I always see the positive in these things, and I speaking to so many people on the phone and trying to educate people about the Las Vegas market and why people are moving here, and trying to have the foresight to see where this market is going. Because, just before COVID, everybody was like, "Oh, the market's dead," and I haven't slowed down since COVID. I mean, you were out there with your bootstraps and a piece of paper selling blue heron homes.
That's right.
And this market really hasn't slowed down. And to all the naysayers out there that think that it's going to crash, I just don't see it, because we have so many people relocating here and all the exciting things that are happening. But I compare this project a little bit to the condos at the Summit Club, where they started when they first when they were first developing it.
Correct.
Right? They were selling those fully furnished, 2 bedrooms for like $5, $6, $7 million bucks. Then they have a resale for $14 million.
Correct.
Now you can't touch the place.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's interestingly, we watch the Summit very, very closely, because our average right now is probably very similar per square foot as where they started. And then they, started at $1,500 a square foot. They've resold the residence last year. They're at $3,700 a square foot.
Yeah.
And now that same residence is back on the market at roughly, $5,200 a square foot or so.
Yeah. And
incredible.
People, it's hard for people to fathom, like, how can somebody afford that, right? But there's, like, for instance, the movie industry is moving here.
Correct.
Right? Mark Wahlberg is spearheading it. So it's the executives right now are starting to make that move, starting to establish residences here. All the, the head of the sports organizations, people are now starting to migrate and get themselves set up to what's going to become Las Vegas.
100%. And it's of course, we don't have the crystal ball, right? Nor do I know everybody's situation, but it's interesting when people do say, the market is going to crash. Well, we are in a very different, we are in a different part of real estate than normal folk. We're within that luxury sphere where most of our clients are cash, so if they invest cash, how is it necessarily going to crash, right? Because it's pretty much an investment that is pretty solid.
Sure.
And all of their neighbors are cash, so we're in a very unique niche, and not just Four Seasons, but we're talking about the luxury buyer overall in Las Vegas is what I've seen throughout my development sales.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Spiegel just hit that
35
$35 million.
Amazing.
Cash deal.
Yep.
Incredible.
And
they do that all the time.
Yep.
They really knock it out of the park every single time. There's so many off-market deals that are happening here in Las Vegas at the Summit Club or the Ridges. You see them pop on for a day. It's just because that's formality. Right. They have to do that for the MLS. Correct. But they're all cash deals. So
exactly.
I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Because I really truly believe in this development. So we are going to keep marketing it and telling all of our clients about it. So
exactly. And one thing, do mention to your clients again, those who are a bit hesitant of moving to the condo lifestyle. We discussed the sizes, very comfortable. The storage spaces, the closets. But they also come with private garages. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Between 2 to 3 garage spaces that are enclosed garage spaces with EV charging for every residence. So not your typical setup for a condo.
Yeah, so this is exactly, right? So it's not a condo, like we discussed before, and you refer to it as the residence.
Residence in the sky.
Residence in the sky. I love it.
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that is our podcast today. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions at all about the Four Seasons private residences, make sure you reach out to us. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode.